This video is an extension of the previous video I uploaded called Depravity in the Family, in the Core of the Family. And this video is for young people, whether if you live in a dysfunctional household or not. We're going to look at it from the predator, yes, predator's point of view. People that have an appetite towards young people. And the appetite is sexual. Now, people like Mike Huckabuck, who married his goddaughter, had an appetite for young girls and, women in general. They go after families that are in crisis. Normally, no father, single parent, whether if the mother is strung out on drugs, in and out of jail, as the case of Deja Evans, or whether if there are other issues. That's what predators look for. So I'm going to play some more of Glendon Cameron's video so you could get a better understanding. I only took 2 clips, but this one I'm going to make it a little longer, turn my stomach, but this is something that you should know. You should be aware of people like this that are around you. There are good people that have good intentions, but there are those wolf in sheep's clothing that their intentions look noble, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll see their intentions. So, oh, and the clips that I'm going to show, you're going to see my face, but you're going to hear the audio, so I don't have any issues with strikes or whatever. Here we go. Okay, here I'm going to start the video, well, the voice, the audio with Glendon Cameron, and he's going to do his explanation. Just here we go.
I could have been a predator. And I am a little sympathetic to R. Kelly. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but hear me out. I guess I need to start with what I've done. When I was doing my Craigslist protocols, hot and heavy, I would get a ton, I mean a ton of high school girls answering my ads. And typically I ignored them because even though I have a similar appetite to R. Kelly, I like young women, but I don't like children.
Okay. Yeah. Forgive me. Now, he says he likes young women, but he doesn't like children. Children run from, what, 0 to 12, 13, 14? Young women, what, 15 on up? He wasn't specific in a number, so he's being vague on that, so look out for that vagueness, not giving you a concrete answer.
But this is how a child tricked me. Typically, they would be young. There would be lots of signs that this girl was very, very young. And I would just ignore them. Then this one girl, she answered the ad. We started to talk, and she was an exceptionally mature 17-year-old. Let me say this again. This chick was 17. Her conversation was different. She actually was a hairdresser, and she answered my ad, and I fucked her.
I meant to bleep that out.
Oh my God, she had these amazingly firm double D titties. That should have been my clue. Because when she would lay on her back, they would stand up.
Okay, I gotta learn how to bleep stuff out.
not fake titties. That should have been my clue. But, you know, I was caught up in the delicious pussy.
Okay, we're going to move ahead. All right. So he's going to go into his internet searches on the women that he deals with.
Just out of curiosity. So I'm like doing my social media search and I find her Facebook page and I see her with her high school friends. And I'm like, oh shit. So I call her up and I ask her, because, you know, she told me she was 21. That's what she told me. And I was like, serious question. And at this time, I had fucked this chick.
Okay.
10, 15 times. And you cannot unfuck a chick. You can't unfuck her. And I was like, I need you to tell me something. How old are you? And then she got very silent and she said, I'll be 18 in 4 months. Then she also said the age of consent in Georgia is 16, so you're good. And I'm like,
okay. Now he knows that she is an out there young lady. Had no business messing with her. But he goes on with his cursing, his vulgar ways of explaining things. I just can't deal with it. But I'm going to move ahead. And here he talks a little bit about R. Kelly.
and I are similar, but we're very different. Because I have safeguards. I know when I'm getting out of control. I know when I'm getting out of control. And I kind of, ran analysis on this. And she was older. Her parents weren't breathing down her neck. And this is how a lot of young girls end up with older dudes. Their parents are not heavily involved in their lives, where they have the time and the freedom to get away with this stuff.
And okay, he's absolutely right. Now, remember, he does internet searches on the women or the young ladies that he deals with, so he knows if you come from a dysfunctional home. And he's preying on that to fulfill his appetite, his lust. Keep that in mind. Okay.
Parents didn't check her. She'd go out, she'd spend the night out. Her parents were like, she came home alive, cool. Her parents were not on her. So I didn't have to worry about catching a charge from the parents. And once again, we just kept doing our thing.
That right there is a great point. He knew exactly who to deal with, so he doesn't go to jail. R. Kelly, on the other hand, because they have similar appetites, he's going to get into that, and I'll let him explain it. He'll do a better job than I.
From 17 to 22, I fucked this chick for 5 years. And I ain't ashamed at it at all. She was willing. She wanted it. And here we come to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is being portrayed as a predator, right?
He is a predator.
Did he hold a gun to these women's heads? Years and years ago, back...
Okay. Blaming the young ladies. An older man has way more experience and wisdom, is going to turn around and blame the young girls. Didn't hold a gun to her head. Manipulation. Dirtbag. I'm sorry.
Before before the internet, I saw the R. Kelly tape. If you remember, there was a VHS tape that was sold around in barbershops, and it was him. It was him. He was peeing on this girl. He was having sex with her. It was 100% him. And this is where R. Kelly went wrong.
Before we get into that, I remember that. And what turned my stomach was how people, namely guys, watched that video and not seeing a 14-year-old girl being exploited by this older man. Try hard not to get angry.
R. Kelly was a good-looking man. R. Kelly had fame. R. Kelly was rich. And he was reckless. See, he has that appetite. And I'm going to try to explain this appetite to you guys who don't have this appetite. Because the normal man doesn't have this appetite. But there is something special about fucking a young girl who's doesn't have a lot of miles on her. She doesn't have a lot of experience. I remember.
Okay, he's getting ready to go into the pleasures that men get out of dealing with younger women that have low, what they call it, mileage. If they have very little to no experience with a man, then he gets more gratification. Sexual gratification. I'm going to hurry this up a little bit.
This chick, she was 22, and she did not have a lot of sexual experience when we started messing around. And I pulled out my dick, and she was like, "You think that's going to fit?" So I knew that this girl had not had a lot of sexual experience. And there is something special about fucking a chick who doesn't have a lot of sexual experience. Because everything you do to her is fun. It's all brand new. And if you've got that type of appetite, it can be insatiable. Like, R. Kelly could have had the baddest.
All right. What he's saying is most definitely true. When you have not experienced something and someone else has, it's intoxicating for them to see your reaction. And they get a high or whatever out of it as he's explaining it. But I'm going to hurry this video up because it is going to be long. Oh.
This out. So this is why I have a problem with the Predator label. Because they were willing participants in the dynamic.
Blame the victim. Blame the victim. All that manipulation, the knowledge, the older people have a lot of experience and knowledge. Young people don't, being manipulated, but blame the victim.
I can tell you. I remember this one girl who answered my ad, and she was 15 years old. 15 years old. We were talking and stuff, and I knew I was never going to meet this chick. I was just talk to her, and she sent me dirty pictures. She was running 100 miles an hour in that direction. And I'm quite sure that she hooked up with some older men. You hear of girls who are 15, 16, 17-year-old hooking up with 30, 40-year-old men. You know how common that is? Let me tell you something.
What he's saying is true, and it's frightening. How you can have a 15-year-old girl dealing with a 30-year-old man. The 30-year-old man was 15, was 20, was 25, and now 30. Guys like that turn my stomach. I'm sorry.
It happened. And it's kind of out there. I was running my ads, and I had this woman who.
Okay. That gets really disgusting, and I'm just going to jump over that. And I'm going to leap here.
Understand R. Kelly on a deeper level. And once again, did he commit these crimes? I would say yes, he had sex with young women. I would say these young women were complicit. They were willing because he was R. Kelly. I'm here to tell you guys, it is not that hard for an older man to get a very young girl. It's not that hard at all. There are many girls out there who are looking for older men. Looking, searching, hunting for older men. And they're 14, 15, 16. And they have no problem taking the dick from a 25, 35, or even a 45-year-old man. No.
Okay, the young women don't have any problems because they're terribly misguided and broken. But the men who do this have serious problems up here to allow that to happen. They should get these young girls straight by pushing them away and not just allowing it to happen. Predator.
None whatsoever. And part of this is, if R. Kelly wasn't R. Kelly, I don't think none of this would have went down. I feel that R. Kelly pissed off the wrong person. I don't know what he did, but he pissed off the wrong person, and that launched this investigation. Because I saw this tape of R. Kelly pissing on this girl in 2000. It was like 2000, maybe 2002. I saw this tape. It was him. It was him. And he's had this appetite since Aaliyah. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I remember that. Aaliyah was 14 and she wouldn't discuss her age, and she was with R. Kelly. I do remember that. But then again, I keep on saying, they go after young people that have dysfunctional homes, or their parents allow them to go off and they're not properly supervised. Oh, this guy gives me the creeps. Okay. In conclusion, young people, this guy just basically gave you a bird's eye view of what goes on in people that have an appetite towards young people, and they look for chaotic homes. They look for dysfunctional households. As I go back to Deja Evans, her mother was on drugs, in and out of jail, left the family unprotected. The father wasn't there. Excellent way for Mike Huckabuck to go in and marry his goddaughter. Mike Huckabuck, I just, a 61-year-old man marrying an 18-year-old girl. There's so many levels of depravity in that man. And one day, Deja will wake up and see the levels of manipulation that he pulled on her. Okay. Well, be careful of the wolves in sheep's clothing. Be aware and don't be a part of their appetite. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you think I fell short on some things, please leave a comment. Most of all, be aware, but thank you for stopping by.